I'm losing my mind. What kind of nonsense is this? So wrong.
Hi, I'm Joe, and welcome to MotorCity Boat Works. Let's get to work. This is a 1986 Albin 27 family cruiser. It's a 27-foot pocket trawler. I've stripped it down to a bare hull, and now I'm putting it back together with all new components and systems. If you've been watching the channel, you know that I have a laundry list of components that are going to be going back into the boat. Everything from electrical to plumbing to navigational and even a new diesel engine. In a previous episode, I talked about making mock-ups of the water tank and the waste tank that'll be going inside the boat. I did this in order to make sure everything would fit properly and I could maximize my tankage. If you haven't seen these episodes, be sure to check them out. Once I had the dimensions and planned out the inputs and outputs for the tank, I placed an order with arguably one of the largest plastic tank manufacturers in North America, a company called Ronco Plastics. If you go online and do a search for marine or RV plastic water tanks, you will find a lot of companies that are selling the tanks, but they don't actually make them. They're distributors, and chances are the tanks that they're selling come from Ronco Plastics. These distributors will help you design your tank, they'll take care of all the shipping, and they act as a middleman. But you can save a lot of money if you go to the source. Ronco allows the public to order from them directly, and sometimes at a savings of 30 or 40% what the distributors are asking. This episode is all about my experiences ordering my tanks from Ronco Plastics.
So today is tank day. The water tank and the waste tank have arrived for the Albin 27 pocket trawler build. But what you're seeing here is how they showed up on my doorstep. UPS dropped them off just like this. No cardboard, no box, no nothing. They're essentially wrapped in saran wrap, and some of it you can see has torn off. So we're gonna unwrap these and kind of inspect them and get an understanding of what's going on with the tanks.
The two tanks I ordered were standard sizes that they have. I was able to specify where I wanted the fittings to go on the tanks. It took about a week to actually order the tanks and then another 30 days to actually receive them. They have to actually make the tanks from molds that they have on hand. Right before they get ready to make the tanks, they charge your credit card. In my case, it was about 7 to 10 days later that the tanks arrive. If you're going to order like this from a manufacturer, you really need to know what it is you need. You got to figure all that out on your own. Communication in the beginning was kind of difficult. I felt like I was bothering them. There didn't seem to be a lot of patience with my questions. I had to contact them several times by email and phone to find out what was going on. As an overview, one tank cost about $236. The waste tank cost $271. Some extra fittings and standpipes I ordered added another $83. And the freight for these two tanks and fittings was about $275, for a grand total of about $865. Right away, it was obvious that the poor shipping caused some damage. In addition to being filthy, scraped, and scuffed, the waste tank had some serious gouges in it.
And when I call them, they tell me, oh, well, this is the way we've always done it. We never had a problem. I said, well, you don't tell people on the website that you're going to ship it with no cardboard. Well, we don't say anything. That's just the way it is. Let's see what's in these cardboard boxes here. I'm just so disappointed. I don't understand. I don't understand how you can pay over $800 for a pair of brand new tanks. And they look like they've been drug across the parking lot, and they got gouges taken out of them. They're filthy. I mean, I've got to fill these now and test them to make sure that they're actually, watertight. The crazy thing is if you order from the other companies, the distributors, the tanks, when you do that, they're drop shipped from the main supplier, which is Ronco Plastics, which is who sent these, which means all the tanks are sent the exact same way. And in fact, that's what they told me over the phone. We've been sending tanks like this for 40 years. No one's ever complained. How is that possible? It blows my mind. It's completely unacceptable. And worse, people online, on the boat forums, on all the Facebook groups, they recommend, just get your stuff from Ronco. Just order your stuff. It's all going to come from Ronco. Or order it from a distributor. It all comes from Ronco. Ronco's amazing. How much effort would it have taken to put a piece of cardboard over each of the edges just to protect it? How hard would it be to put it inside a box? Even if it was a loose box filled with newspaper, it would be in better condition than this. I'm beside myself right now. I'm so freaking angry. And when I call them, they give me lip. This is how we do it. I don't know what the problem is. Why don't you unpack them and tell them this is damage? Contact us through email. So-and-so's not working today. We can't help you. What's your problem? What's my problem? My problem is I paid you $800 and you sent me something like garbage. You did me dirty, Ronco. You did me dirty. I'm losing my mind. What kind of nonsense is this? So wrong.
If you watch my channel, you already know MotorCity Boat Works has no sponsors. I get no compensation from any of the products or the companies that I talk about on my YouTube channel. I do put links in the show description for some of the items that I use if you want to try and find them. Amazon does pay a small commission if you use those links.
I'll be honest, I debated about whether or not to publish this episode. While it's always entertaining to watch me blow a gasket, it's not something I'm particularly proud of. On a project like this, at this level, there are tens of thousands of dollars at stake. Staying on budget and staying on time is its own inherent challenge. But I do think this serves as some teaching points if you're ordering some components for your boat building project. First, you gotta be your own advocate. You gotta make sure that you're looking out for yourself. You got to make sure that the items that you're ordering are what you asked for and that they're in the condition that you expected. Second, you got to be skeptical of the information that you find on the internet, especially when it comes from these supposed salty dogs and quasi-experts who are saying things that everybody thinks they know, but what do they really know?
Are you talking about me?
You really have to vet your sources for the information that you're using for your decision-making process. Number 3, it goes without saying that you have to do your own research. You can't rely on someone else or Facebook to tell you how to do something or pick the components for your project. Number 4, you have to plan for the unexpected. Always be thinking one step ahead. Well, what if something goes wrong? What if this doesn't work out like I planned? That doesn't fit. This definitely doesn't fit. And the last thing, trust me, you need to document everything. Every email, every phone call. You need to keep track of your receipts, your work orders, the shipping, everything. If you don't do that, you won't be able to competently ask for some redress when something goes wrong. So today is part of the ongoing saga of the tank situation for the Albin 27 pocket trawler. You know, I ordered these 2 tanks here, and they sent the tanks. Of course, they didn't wrap them up. They didn't do anything to protect them. They charged me a premium on the shipping. We got tanks, one of which is damaged. It's got gouges in it and plastic torn from the corner. After a lot of haggling, first the company basically said, what are you talking about? We do this all the time. And when I basically said this is not acceptable, then they called me back and the company basically implied that I was trying to get something for free because I asked for a discount for the tanks that I got that were damaged. I said I shouldn't pay full price for something that came to me looking like it was drug across the parking lot and is damaged. They accused me of basically trying to get the tanks for free. Of course, that's not the case. I asked for a percentage off, and these guys just, are not kind of acting proper. Next, we haggled back and forth, and they basically told me to chop the tanks up, they'll give me my money back, but that doesn't really solve my situation because I still need the tanks to go inside my boat. Finally, we came to an understanding that they would replace the waste tank, which is the one that's really damaged, the worst, and they would send me a brand new one. But now, get this, they don't want to send me a new one or have a new one made until I chop up the old one because they don't want the old one to get into someone else's hands, because they don't want their inferior product to be out there and cause them problems later on. It's okay if I got the inferior product. They just don't want me to, I don't know, resell it to someone else or do something with it. I told them I wasn't going to do that. But again, they implied that that's not good enough. I've got to chop up the tank beforehand, before they'll make the new tank to send me the proper tank that I asked for, right? So we're going to chop up this tank and we'll take a picture of it. We'll send it to the company, and hopefully down the road, I'll get the tank that I paid $800 for, you know, along with the other one. Eventually, maybe I'll get what I paid for. This company is just completely unsatisfactory in my book. And I would caution anybody who's dealing with them to really think about whether or not you want to go through this type of hassle. There's plenty of other people out there who will take your money. Why deal with someone like this? Imagine paying $800 plus. Imagine paying $200 and some for shipping and having to put up with this kind of nonsense from a company that doesn't respect you as a customer. They're not going to send you a product properly wrapped up. They're going to try and blow smoke up your and convince you, hey, this is okay to accept an inferior product. And they write it off as, oh, we make everybody do this. This is our policy. This is how we do it. Go look on their website, see if you see that policy. There's no policy like that. This is all just harassment to the customer to cover up the fact that they didn't do their job. First, they said that it was fine. They have total faith in their tanks. It can't possibly be damaged. Then they said, well, this has never happened before. 40 years we've been sending out tanks. Never been a problem. And then after we had further conversation, oh, now there's a policy, and we've done this before, and we've replaced tanks before, and we always make people chop them up first before we do this. Well, which one is it? Either it's never happened before, or it happens so often that you have a policy make me jump through hoops to get what I paid for. Deja vu, we got another tank. This is supposedly the replacement waste tank from Ronco. So we're going to unpack it and make sure that it's good to go. Let's see. Notice there's a big difference between how this thing is packaged and how the other ones are packaged. This thing's all in cardboard, protected. I don't know why they didn't do that the first time.
Look, mistakes happen. It's how a company handles the mistakes. It's one thing to admit a mistake and then try and make it right. It's another thing to hide behind bureaucracy, to not come clean, to give the customer hurdles, hoping that they just go away.
Just look at the difference in how this thing is wrapped. Saying? Just look at it. How can you say that the first time, oh, this is how we always do it, yeah, whatever. I mean, who would accept a tank that way? This is how you would expect it to come when you pay $800 for it. Cardboard upon cardboard, wrapped in plastic. I just want to contrast the difference between how this one is wrapped and how the other ones are wrapped. I mean, seriously. I'm saying, they didn't even wrap it last time with this much plastic. You know what I'm saying? So this is why I call BS on whatever nonsense they're saying. This, if you're going to wrap it in plastic, it should have been wrapped like this, with so many layers of plastic that you can't even see what's inside of it. Outrageous, man.
If you haven't seen all the episodes, do me a favor, take a moment to check out the playlist for the Albin 27 pocket trawler. Get yourself caught up to date. I'll be back again soon with another episode. In the next episode for the tank playlist, I'll be talking about all the fittings, and I'll be assembling the dip tubes, the freshwater intake tube, and I've got some very cool sensors that go inside the tanks. Thanks for stopping by the Boat Werks. I'll see you next time. Stay motivated.